Hey folks, welcome to the very first episode of my show, Vetted Out. I am Dr. Leah Ozawicki, although I'm known professionally as Dr. Leah to make things a little easier on everyone, or Dr. O to some of my OG clients. Thanks so much for joining me on this new chapter in my life. It has been a dream of mine to do some community education and outreach about everything animal since I was a little girl. I knew I always wanted to be a veterinarian from the moment I understood what it was. To be able to help animals, keep them well, make them better when they are sick, and of course, end their suffering when their lives are winding down. It's such an incredible, beautiful gift. And I was all in on becoming a vet at the ripe old age of 5. And then I saw a movie called The Truth About Cats and Dogs in 1996. And for those who haven't seen it, it's about a veterinarian with a call-in radio talk show. And I just fell in love with this idea of being able to help the people who have the pets too, not just the animals. Specifically, people who love animals and are looking for support and guidance when they don't know what to do when faced with a difficult situation. Whether they are a domestic pet, farm animal, or wildlife they are encountering. Knowing what to do is half the battle, and I could actually try and help someone with that. It seems pretty awesome. We are all here for the same reason, right? We love animals. Whether we're talking about our beloved household companions, the livestock that we raise for our livelihoods, products, or hobbies, or the wildlife we observe, hunt, and encounter. We are a community brought together by these remarkable creatures. During the height of the pandemic chaos that we all had to navigate, a time of absolute distress, confusion, divisiveness, and fear, I quit all of my clinic jobs and dove headfirst into full-time house call hospice practice. I was fortunate to be in a position where I could take the risk for the sake of these furry family members and help them by transitioning from their failing bodies, all in the comfort of their own loving homes. And then it hit me, my light bulb, it's go time to do this kind of moment. I had an emergency euthanasia, and from the outward appearance of the property and the decor, it was clear we might not be in alignment on certain beliefs or ways of life. But when I met that big family, all gathered around this incredibly sweet Labrador, sharing stories of her life through tears, even some laughter, we shared an emotional connection. And all I felt for that family was love, empathy, understanding. No matter our differences in regards to politics, religion, race, gender, or socioeconomic status, we share this common thread of the human-animal bond. It is real and it's powerful. And if a person can love an animal and take good care of them, then I can relate to that human. There's a mutual respect and understanding for one another. And it gave me hope through incredibly dark and difficult times to find something so vastly relatable. When it comes to humanity, it's incredible, and I think we need it in our lives now more than ever. And we must take this opportunity to build upon this common thread we share and create a community where we might actually be able to make a difference. So here we are. Welcome, all of you, and thank you for being here. I released a trailer for Vetted Out on June 18th, very intentionally. It was Veterinary Appreciation Day. So first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my fellow veterinarians, technicians, assistants, receptionists, managers, kennel staff, and all of the vital employees who make the day-to-day operations in any hospital or practice possible. Your love and dedication to helping animals is admirable and truly greatly appreciated. Thank you. From one caregiver to another. And now your struggles are heard and will be shared too. The inspiration behind Vetted Out is to finally take a stand and do something about our beloved profession and the crisis affecting veterinary medicine. You are all tuning in and listening because you love animals, right? And in order to give our animals the best possible lives we can, we need to make sure that the folks who keep them well are okay. And we are not. So the first order of business right out of the gates is to address what's happening in veterinary medicine, discuss some of the misconceptions, and tell you, the general animal-adoring public, what you can do to help. It may be a little uncomfortable to hear, but my animal care colleagues have been dealing with a heck of a lot of discomfort for far too long now. And so this is the place we have to start, ground zero. There is an important purpose to all of it, so buckle up. Here we go. I started my first job in a veterinary clinic 25 years ago now, right out of high school, and wow, that makes me feel a little bit old, but anyways, I worked as a receptionist at a private small practice. And back in the good old days when the local veterinarian was regarded with respect, they were a trusted member of the community, the most honest and reliable source of information for pet care. And unfortunately, the general public's opinion of veterinary medicine as a whole has since eroded. significantly. And the level of trust in my beloved profession has deteriorated. That happened to coincide with the rise of access to the internet and Dr. Google and social media and very public reviews, good, bad, and sometimes just downright lies. And the consequences have been absolutely devastating. We now have one of the highest suicide rates of any profession. And when compared to the general population, female veterinarians are 3.5 times more likely and male vets 2.6 times more likely to commit suicide. The statistics for veterinary technicians and support staff are not much better. Drug alcohol abuse as well as divorce rates are also increased risk for animal care professionals. Now, my reputation is built on my honesty and my openness, and so I struggled for years with suicide ideation as I bumped along on rock bottom. And I don't think we talk about how devastatingly destructive divorce is in our lives. Even when amicable and for the right reasons, it's pretty awful. Throw in a pandemic, astronomical costs of living, housing shortages, and very emotionally taxing hospice practice, and I was riding on the struggle bus pretty much every single day for years. And although I'm very grateful to feel as though I'm on the other side of it now, some of my colleagues were not so fortunate. Although I didn't become another startling statistic, I know how fragile we all are in this animal care field. How many of us are just one bad client encounter, slanderous Yelp review, or accusation away about how heartless and greedy we are from making a very permanent decision to end our lives. And someone needs to do something about it. So, as a problem solver by nature, I always wanted to identify the cause of any issue in order to work towards a plausible solution. So while we, as a profession, love and appreciate all of our VIP, A+, super duper awesome pet parents who truly support and appreciate their veterinary team, there are a lot of pet parents who are not like that. And some are people who are hurt and grieving, and some are just straight up jerks. Regardless, it's a problem when folks feel the need to place blame and the veterinary community is on the receiving end of that attack. During my final years of veterinary school, we had to take a class about some of the legal and financial issues we will undoubtedly face in our careers. I remember the first time someone said to me, it's not a matter of if someone will report you for medical malpractice or to your licensing board or file a lawsuit, but when. And it forever changed how I felt about going into the world as a fresh new baby vet. It affected the way I practiced. All the time, money, effort, tears, heart, and soul I put into my qualifications to care for animals, for your animals, can be destroyed any day by an angry client. Despite my best efforts, retaliation could ruin my life with a snap of a finger, just like that. And it's pretty terrifying, especially for a group of super intelligent, highly empathetic, compassionate people. Many who also struggle with social interactions and anxiety, and which is why they choose to work with animals in the first place. I mean, people are gross, let's face it. Props to all you human care professionals who clean up bodily fluids from any orifice just because I could not. You're amazing. Good for you. But we do have to deal with the human parents of these animals we work on. And as we already discussed, the human-animal bond, people are downright insane when it comes to animals. Nuts. Unreasonable. And I believe that our primary cause for a lot of our problems in vet med is, in fact, cyberbullying. You have a bad encounter with a staff member, a vet doesn't explain things well enough, the bill is astronomical, Dr. Google told you the diagnosis was wrong, and then bam! The frustrated keyboard cowboys get on social media, write all about their bad experience, very one-sided, and then the witch hunt begins. People come out of the woodwork with their own negative experiences, how vets don't have compassion anymore. All they want to do is push product. It's just about money. And I see it every day when I log into my social media account. The bullying, the mob mentality, the refusal to accept any responsibility of their own, and they just want to blame the right people. And I assure you, us lowly veterinarians aren't the ones setting the pricing. Let's face it, the cost of veterinary medicine sucks, right? Just like the cost of everything sucks, now more than ever. And we all, as a profession, hate it. Because unlike human medicine, where care is subsidized, we have insurance. Anyone who shows up at an emergency hospital is provided basics of healthcare without question. We don't have those financial benefits in place in vet med. Although I never used to be an advocate for pet insurance, I am now because of what it costs to practice quality medicine. And the financial stress that we are all feeling in every aspect of our lives is real. This is my favorite example for comparison. So I've never once went to an auto mechanic and blamed them for the state of my broken vehicle, expected them to give it back to me without paying for services rendered in full, gotten upset with them for not offering to cover the costs like they're a bank or offer a payment plan, screamed at them for lacking compassion because I can't function without my car to get to work, I can't pick up my kids, and then went home and obliterated their reputation with a bad review. Completely unreasonable, right? But it's happening every day in veterinary medicine, and it's what's breaking us. And this is what is killing my colleagues. I assure you, none of us in vet med go into it for the money. Just want to throw that out there. These brilliant minds can make a heck of a lot more money doing other things that are far less emotionally taxing. We do it for the love of animals. Since transparency is kind of my thing, my student loan balance as of today was $195,000, with over $23,000 of that being unpaid accrued interest, thanks to the rates over 6.8%. And now I've never have and never will ask anybody else to pay for the loans that I agreed to take out in order to become a licensed vet. But wow, it sure would be nice to pay down my debt at a non-predatory rate set by the federal government. You know, since my truck was financed at 0.9% and my mortgage back when I was lucky enough to own my own home was financed at 2.59%. Now take into consideration that the average veterinary salary in my state is around $120,000. The average salary for a human medical doctor, for comparison, a general practitioner, is closer to $260,000, more than double. We are literally filming the show in the basement of my little rental house, like full-on Wayne's World style, because it's all I can afford. I did spring for this sweet neon sign made by an old friend, though. But it took me about 1.5 years to secure this place after my separation with the insane COVID housing crisis. The landlords would ask me if I had pets, to which I'd reply yes. And then they'd ask me how many pets, and I'd say yes. Because for those who are curious, I have 3 cats, 2 dogs, which I co-parent with my husband, and a donkey named Bug. And I'm sure you will see plenty of content with the crew as we go, but anyways, I digress. Can we all agree to stop acting like veterinarians are laughing all the way to the bank after trying to save your pets' lives? Can we accept that vets are not in it for the money? Let's direct that anger and rage to folks in charge of the state of our economy and that unsustainable cost of living we're all enduring, huh? Please and thank you. So, now that we've cleared up some misconceptions about veterinary medicine and I have identified some of our biggest problems, let's talk about how we can actually come together as a community and do something about it. Actually try to address the crisis at hand and implement real change. Because the less sexy and fun this profession becomes every day, the fewer qualified applicants we're going to be seeing entering the field. It's not all kittens and puppies and rainbows, and the future generations are catching on. And as our numbers dwindle, it's our beloved pets, livestock, and wildlife, again, who are ultimately going to pay the biggest price because they don't have caregivers. Because veterinarians are not just animal doctors, but also play vital roles in food safety and epidemiology or public health, which can have significant impacts on all of us. And any inhabitant on Earth, we have to pay attention. And for example, West Nile virus, when it was first identified in 1999, that was a veterinary pathologist. Kind of a big deal. So, since we live in the age of internet with instant access to information at our fingertips, it's important to know how to vet the information you're accessing or seeking. See what I did there? Vet. It seems as though appropriate qualifications or credentials have become less important if the information sounds good and is delivered well by a pretty face. So, education and related experience have fallen in favor of people's opinions. I mean, what? Since when? I love using this example. Would you take your car into a mechanic who went to school and has years of experience in favor of somebody who got their training from a social media video from another unskilled mechanic? I mean, since people love to accuse vets of being in bed with big pharma or big kibble, I think it's important that you all know that I have been fully self-employed as a hospice veterinarian and haven't worked a single shift in a hospital since the start of the pandemic. And I don't sell or promote any products through my practice, literally none. If I like or recommend something, it's because I believe in it, whether we're talking about the science behind the product or the procedure, quality assurance, or effectiveness. I will utilize these things for my own critters, and I don't get any kickbacks. Oh, I mean, although once I got a sweet hoodie from Boehringer Ingelheim, who manufactures vaccines, when we used to use them as a mixed animal practitioner. The free boxes of parasite preventatives was kind of awesome too, but never once would I consider recommending something in the face of a legitimate safety issue, period. And so, I do hope I can be a trusted source of information and education. Honesty, the scientific process, factual information, and real life experiences from qualified professionals are the goals here. I promise this isn't going to be me just doing this show, talking at you every single episode. I have some incredible animal care colleagues who will be joining me after the next episode. Rather than case-based, veterinary-focused approach, we're going to be discussing topics, careers, challenges we face in our current climate. We have large and small animal vets, animal control officers, wildlife rehabbers, groomers, trainers, farmers, vet techs, rescue organizations, epidemiologists, biologists, and so on. Nothing animal-related will be off limits, and I'm here to learn right alongside with you. I'm a total nerd, and I strive to have a better understanding of the world around me, and I promise to do my best to deliver accurate, safe, and effective information to you. And let me be crystal clear, politics has no place here and will not influence the scientific facts. Hatred, racism, and passion-fueled misinformation will also not be tolerated. This is about animals and how we become the best pet parents and stewards of the environment possible. Education is everything, and we can use it to try to make some positive change. The more informed we are, the better life will be for my colleagues and the critters we all love so much. So, thank you for tuning in, bearing with me as we work through some difficult conversation, and hopefully you'll be sticking around with me as we get into more of the fun stuff. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Vet It Out with Dr. Leah. Follow me on any and all social media and listen on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you have any burning questions or topics you'd like addressed, leave a comment, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with the latest content. And please tell all of your family and animal-loving friends about our mission too. Can't wait to take this educational journey together. Stay safe and be well.